of Egypt. Art of Egypt, or ancient Egyptian art, is considered one of the oldest and most influential art forms in the world. This art is primarily associated with religious, political, and afterlife beliefs. Below, it is explained in detail. 1. Time, period, and development. Egyptian art spread approximately from 3000 BCE to 300 CE. It is generally divided into three main periods: Old Kingdom, beginning of pyramid construction; Middle Kingdom, innovation in sculpture and painting; New Kingdom, grandeur of temples and excellence in painting. Characteristics: religious focus. The main purpose of Egyptian art was religious. Depicting gods, pharaohs, kings, and life after death was its central theme. Symbolism: every color, form, and gesture had a special meaning. For example, blue, life and rebirth; green, fertility; black, death and rebirth; Eye of Horus, protection and health; stability and discipline. The pace of change in art was slow. A single style continued for about 3,000 years. Size based on class. In paintings, pharaohs were shown the largest, common people medium-sized, and slaves the smallest. Combination of frontal and profile view. Faces were usually shown in profile, but the eyes were front-facing. The rest of the body, shoulders, legs, was drawn at a specific angle. Forms of art sculpture. Statues made of stone, wood, and metal. Seated or standing figures of gods and kings. Famous sculptures: Sphinx and statue of Nefertiti painting, wall paintings inside tombs, scenes of daily life, religious rituals, pharaohs' battles, music, etc. Architecture, most famous: pyramids, Giza pyramids, and temples of Karnak and Luxor. Construction of large pillars, columns, and halls. Materials and techniques. Materials: limestone, granite, wood, gold, bronze techniques. Highly advanced: stone carving, use of natural colors in paintings. Ancient Egyptians believe in afterlife and art. Belief in the afterlife. Egyptians did not consider death as the end, but believed it was a continuation of life. They believed every person had a special spiritual essence called Ka, which continued to exist after death. After death, the individual needed material possessions just like in life, such as food, utensils, clothes, servants, animals, etc. Tradition of preserving the dead body. Egyptians wanted their pharaoh, king, to remain preserved for centuries. They developed the art of mummification, where the body was preserved using special chemicals. Mastaba and pyramid. Initially, dead bodies were buried in pits dug in the sand. Later, they began building mastabas, flat-roofed, bench-like tombs. Lower chamber contained the corpse, personal belongings, and sometimes even relatives or animals buried alive. Upper chamber had the statue of the deceased and scenes from their life, carved in relief. Eventually, pyramids replaced mastabas. Egyptian painting, script, and writing tradition, depiction of human figures. Rules and features. Right-facing figures. Egyptians believed that all body actions originated from the right side, so most of their painted figures face right. In standing figures, the left leg is shown forward to indicate motion and balance. The face is shown in profile, the torso from the front, and the eye from the front, while the rest of the body followed fixed traditional norms. Technique of illustration. First, grid lines were drawn on a panel to divide it into boxes. The human figure was then drawn inside these boxes, accurately based on proportion and measurements. This technique allowed for clear and consistent representation of all body parts, body proportions, and mathematics. The human body was the main reference for measurements, such as one hand, one finger, or one palm span. The body was vertically divided into two equal parts. This reflects the scientific approach behind Egyptian art, Development of the writing system. A. Hieroglyphic script, meaning sacred symbols. This script had around 2,000 pictorial symbols. It included 3 types of signs: ideographic, expressed ideas, phonetic, indicated sounds, determinatives, clarified meanings of words. All 3 types of signs were used together in Egyptian writing. Example: Narmer palette. This includes 2 hieroglyphs. Nar, are fish, mir, chisel. Together, they form the name Narmer. B. Hieratic script. A simplified and faster version of hieroglyphics developed for quick writing. It was used for religious and general purposes. C. Demotic script. A more cursive and simplified script than hieratic, used for common, commercial, and administrative writings. It is considered similar to modern shorthand. Gold mask of Tutankhamun. Luxor time, around 1323 BCE material. Pure gold, precious stones. Location: Tomb of King Tut, Valley of the Kings. This mask was placed on the mummy of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. It features extremely fine and beautiful carvings. Its eyes, beard, and the symbols of the cobra and vulture make it royal and divine. It is the most famous artwork of Egypt and is now preserved in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Karnak Temple Complex location: Thebes, now Luxor. Main deity: Amun-Ra, time: 2055 BCE to 100 CE. This is the largest religious site in Egypt. It includes massive columns, a sacred lake, and a vast hypostyle hall. Every part of the temple features carvings, colorful paintings, and inscriptions of gods and goddesses. Rosetta Stone, the key to deciphering scripts. Location: Rosetta, on the banks of the Nile River period, 196 BCE. During the reign of King Ptolemy, scripts on the stone. Hieroglyphic, for religious inscriptions. Demotic, for general administrative writings. Greek, for royal decrees. This stone was discovered in 1798 by Napoleon's soldiers and played a crucial role in decoding Egyptian scripts. Today, it is preserved in the British Museum, London. Papyrus paper. The art of making paper was also developed in Egypt. The pulp of the papyrus plant was cut into flat strips, dried, and then glued together to form paper. These were used for drawing and writing. Abu Simbel Temple's king, Ramses II period, around 1264 to 1244 BCE location, southern Egypt, on the banks of the Nile River. A complex of 2 temples, one dedicated to Ramses II and the other to his queen Nefertari. Outside the main temple are 4 colossal seated statues of the king, each approximately 20 meters tall. The temples were carved into a mountain from solid rock. In 1960, the entire site was relocated to prevent it from being submerged due to the construction of the Aswan Dam. Book of the Dead, Papyrus of Ani period, around 1250 BCE material. Papyrus scroll. Purpose: to protect the soul after death. This book contains spells, prayers, and illustrations meant for guiding and protecting the soul in the afterlife. The most famous version is the Papyrus of Ani, which includes both text and images. It is a remarkable example of ancient Egyptian religion and art. Tomb wall paintings. Locations: Thebes, Luxor, Giza, period. Found across all historical periods in tomb interiors. These paintings typically depicted scenes from life, religious symbols, and divine figures. They were mostly two-dimensional, 2D, but rich in color and symbolic meaning. Common scenes include pharaohs hunting servants offering services, gods welcoming the deceased. Such scenes were frequent and culturally significant. Bust of Nefertiti. Location: Neues Museum, Berlin, currently. Period: around 1345 BCE. Artist: Thutmose, Royal sculptor. This is a half-bust of Queen Nefertiti, considered a symbol of beauty and feminine grace. Her face is seen as highly balanced, serene, and aesthetically beautiful. It is regarded as one of the most famous and finest sculptures of the ancient world. Step Pyramid of Djoser, 3rd Dynasty. Location: Saqqara. Height: approximately 203 feet. Style: step pyramid, the first known pyramid. Builder: Vizier Imhotep. Architect: physician, scribe structure. And highlights: maze-like corridors and multiple chambers. The king's dining hall, surrounded by blue tiles. Around 40,000 items found, religious, cultural artifacts. Complex includes funeral temple, mourning chamber, statue of the king, gazing toward the sky, Great Sphinx of Giza. Location: in front of the Pyramid of Khafra period, around 2550 BCE. Dimensions: length 73 meters, height 20 meters. Description: a massive statue with a lion's body and a human head, believed to represent Pharaoh Khafra's face, symbol of protection and power. Carved from limestone, it still remains a mystery how and by whom it was constructed. 3 Pyramids of Sneferu. Sneferu, 4th Dynasty. Medum Pyramid. Height: 213 feet. Has 7 steps, levels. Initiated by Huni, completed by Sneferu. Bent Pyramid. Location: Dahshur. Height: 332 feet. Lower portion angle: 54 degrees. Upper portion angle: 43 degrees. Represents a transitional form between 2 architectural styles. Red Pyramid. Height: 341 feet. Tallest pyramid in Dahshur, built using red limestone. The Great Pyramids of Giza. A. The Great Pyramid of Khufu. Location: Giza Plateau. Egypt period, around 2580 to 2560 BCE. This is the largest pyramid in the world and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It houses the tomb of King Khufu. Nearly 2.3 million limestone blocks were used in its construction. Even today, scientists are amazed by its structure and mathematical precision. B. Jedefre. Location: Abu Rawash, north of Giza. Considered artistically insignificant compared to other pyramids. C. Khafre. Chefren. Period: 2558 to 2532 BCE. Height: 447 feet. 2nd tallest pyramid. Location: near the Pyramid of Khufu. Important features: Valley Temple, used for mummification of the body. Connected to the Valley Temple by a paved road. Contained 23 life-size statues, most of which are now destroyed.